What's up, guys? Welcome back. So if you have never used Neo4J, then you should be using Neo4J because it's an amazing graph database that basically creates all these nodes, and you can connect all these nodes with different relationships. So for example, if it's a movie and the movie that's getting the highest votes, you can start having weighted relationships between those movies, and you can create these data sets to actually start training your machine learning algorithms. For example, let's say a recommendation algorithm. So if a person keeps buying a particular product at a particular time of day, and if a lot of people are buying a particular product after buying a product, then you would know that this is how you can train your machine learning algorithm to give out those recommendations. So in this project, we are building a Golang Neo4J project where we'll be using the Golang server and the Neo4J server for the database. So this is a marriage made in heaven, by the way. So Golang goes really well with Neo4J. Golang has concurrency and it's parallelism and all of those things, and Neo4J has graph databases. And we also have a front end in this project, and the front end I'm not going to be using React. I'm going to be using jQuery and D3.Js library. Very simple, very basic front end, nothing complicated, because the project is not about the front end. It's about connecting Neo4J with Golang and how do you set it up and how do you work with it, the whole thing. So not only will I show you, explain to you what Neo4J is, I'll also show you how to set it up on your local machine. And by setting up on local machine, I want to keep things very, very stable. So that's why I use Docker, in the sense, even if you're on Ubuntu or Mac or Windows, it shouldn't matter, right? We should all be on the same page. So that's why we'll use Docker, which is like a layer on top of your base machine, which basically helps you, or like a container, which helps you run the projects. And Neo4J, the company, they have their own image on Docker library. So we'll be using that image, and that will make things very easy for us. And I'll show you the exact commands to set it up. So let me show you the project first. So the project is this. So this is my Golang server running on localhost 9000. So as you can see, this is my Golang server. So running on localhost 9000, and it has a front end. So like I said, you have jQuery and D3.Js. For D3.Js, I've used this for this representation of the graph and on these nodes. And jQuery is for all of this. So basically, we have a list. We have a lot of movies in our database, and every single movie has some number of votes in front of it. So let's say if we click on Matrix Revolutions, so this movie gets selected, and then you can vote on it, and then you can see the vote getting updated. All right. So this is basically what we're building. So let me also show you what Neo4J looks like. So this is the Neo4J browser experience, where I'm running Neo4J actually on a port called 7687. I'm running it everything on a Docker container, right? And so they have this nice thing where you can pass environment variables directly into the container that you're running, and I also have given it the name Neo anyhow. And this is the browser experience. It's on 7474 port. Which is what you can see here, port 7474, which is the browser experience, where you have like a visual experience. Like I've been using Neo4J for quite some time, and I've not been using the browser experience. I've been using Cypher and the command line, the CLI tool. I also have a video on my channel, by the way, on how to set up Neo4J on your computer. But that is if you want to natively install Neo4J on Ubuntu machine. But here I'll show you how to use it with Docker and how do you set it up, how do you set up your browser experience. And I've created a database here, the movies database. You can see the table here. You can see the text. You have all these different visualizations for the table, and the best is obviously the graph visualization. So these are all the movies here, right? Rescue, or what dreams may come true, The Matrix Reloaded, A Few Good Men. All of these things are there already. You can zoom in, zoom out as well. So this is the whole entire movies universe out here. All right. So that's the best part with Neo4J. It's a completely it's a graph database, right? So if you've never used graph databases, you're in for a treat, because it's a very, very different concept. It's very different from your MongoDB and your SQL. It's actually the best of both worlds. So you get relationships like SQL, but you get like big data dumps like MongoDB, right? So let me take you through the entire project first. So here is my Neo4J container, Docker container, which is running Neo4J. And it's exposing two ports. One is 7474, which I showed you, which connects directly to your browser. And the other port it's exposing is 7687, which is called as a bolt port. I'll explain to you what that means. And I'm not using a secure connection, in the sense I'm not using an SSL connection. So that was one problem that I was having. I thought Neo4j is only SSL, but thankfully it is. It supports local development where you don't have to use an SSL connection, so you can directly connect. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So for the longest time, I was trying to connect to Neo4j using plus S, which is basically SSL, right? And things weren't working out. And then I realized that you don't have to use SSL with Neo4j, which is amazing. And Neo4j has fully managed services like MongoDB, like you have MongoDB Atlas. So Neo4j has the same services as well. I'm not using those, but I've heard that they're pretty good, but they're also very expensive, right? So it's good to host it on your local machine so that you can easily export it to AWS later on if you actually want to go into production, and it'll be much cheaper as well. So because obviously Neo4j won't ever be your primary database, right? It'll just be for some machine learning or something like that. Anyhow, so the 7687, the Bolt port is getting exposed to my Golang server. My Golang server is running on port 9000, and 9000 I'm using to interact with it from the browser. So it has natively some HTML files with jQuery and D3.Js. So that's the outline of the project. Now let me show you, let's dig a little deeper. So we have a search route, which is this, basically the search route, right? When you search something. Then you have your movies route, where you see the list of the movies. Sorry, this is the /movie route. So with the search route, actually I'm covering the list of the movies, and with the /movie route, I'm covering every single movie that you click on. So this is /movie route. And then you have your /movie/vote route, which is this. You can vote any particular movies and the vote increases. And then you have your /graph route, which basically creates this graph database for you. All right. And we're using a Golang driver for Neo4j called Neo4j Go driver. It's library. We'll be using that. We won't be building our own library. I know there are some crazy videos on my YouTube channel where I build libraries from scratch, but this is not one of those. And then we have our Neo4j database. As you can see, we have our Neo4j database, and we'll basically be setting everything up here. So this is my, so I'm using a technology called as WSL2, which basically creates an Ubuntu machine on top of your Windows machine. That's how I can have PowerShell of Windows and Ubuntu 20.04 running at the same time. And not only this, I can run multiple instances of Ubuntu and different versions of Ubuntu on my machine at the same time. So that's pretty awesome. And I can use Docker inside these, or I can use Docker, and inside those I can run Ubuntu. I can do all sorts of things, right? So you should check out WSL2. If you don't know what it is, I'll make a video about it as well. So so I have a WSL2 running on my Windows machine, and on top of that I'm running Docker. Inside Docker I'm running Neo4j. That's my whole stack. And then at my base Windows machine, I have I'm using the port 9000 to run my Golang server, and then connecting to Neo4j at 7687. So I hope that makes sense. This is just the first video of this entire series. It's going to take a lot of time to build this entire project. It's a lot of code, right? I'll take you through everything step by step. And this is going to take, let's say, about 7 to 8 videos of 10-15 minutes each to actually build the entire project. And it's quite possible that you don't know what Neo4j is, or you don't have a lot of experience with Docker. So I'll take you through each of the steps, so you don't have to worry. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next episode. Do stay subscribed to the channel so that you come to know when the next video of this series comes out. And thank you for watching.